The National Capital Region or NCR. National Capital Region or NCR, also known as the Metropolitan Manila, is the capital region of the Philippines. It is located in the southwestern portion of Luzon directly below Central Luzon. The National Capital Region, or called as Metro Manila, is the most populous of the 12 defined metropolitan areas in the Philippines and the 11th most populous in the world. The National Capital Region is actually divided into 4 districts. City of Manila, Manila itself, the capital city of the Philippines, is the first district. The second district is the Mandaluyong City, Marikina City, Pasig City, Quezon City, and San Juan City. The third district is Caloocan City, Malabon City, Navotas City, and Valenzuela City. And the fourth district is Las Piñas City, Makati City, Muntinlupa City, Parañaque City, Pasay City, Municipality of Pateros, and Taguig. Famous others of Manila are Liwayway Arceo, Severino Reyes, Jesus Balmore, Emilio Jacinto, Rosarion Almario, Jose de la Cruz, Amado V. Hernandez, Cecilio Apostol, Faustino Aguilar, Inigo Ed Regalado, and Andres Bonifacio. The first one is Liwayway A. Arceo. She is a multi-awarded Tagalog fictionist, journalist, radio scripter, and editor. Arceo authored a number of well-received novels such as Canal de Reña in 1973 and Titzer in 1995. She also published collection of short stories such as Ina, May Bahay, Anak ng at iba pa. Mga Maria, Mga Eva, Ang Mga Anak na Cruz in 1990, and Mga Kwento ng Pag-ibig in 1997. Her short story Lumapit Lumayo Ang Umaga was later turned into an award-winning film by national artist Ismael Bernal. In 1975, in the year 1962, she also won a Palangka Award for her short story Banyaga. Her another story, Uhaw ang Tigang na Lupa, was also awarded with Palangka Memorial Award for Literature. The next one is Jesus Balmore. He was a Filipino-Spanish language journalist, playwright, and poet. He was born in Ermita, Manila on 10th of January in 1887. In his early years, Balmore was already gathering literature or literary honors and prizes for poetry. In a Rizal Day contest, his 3 poems, each varying with different pen names, won the first, second, third prizes. Later, he figured in friendly poetical joust known as Balagtasan in reference to Tagalog poet Francisco Balagtas with other well-known persons in Spanish of his time, notably Manuel Bernabe of Parañaque and the Ilonggo Flavio Zaragoza Cano, emerging trompant each other. Before the war, under the pseudonym of Batikuling, Balmore wrote a column called Vida Minelania for Vanguardia, a daily afternoon newspaper. It was a trenchant critique of society, power, elite, showcasing his gift for irony and situational or statistical humor, as well as the serious verses. After war, he wrote similar column, Vida Filipina, for Voz de Manila. However, the number of Spanish-speaking readers was already diminishing by that time. In 1926, he and Bernabe were awarded the Premio Sobel for his contribution to Philippine literature. His literary works: Books of Verses, Rimas Malaya, El Libro de Mis Vidas Minilenias, Poems, Gloria, A Nuestro Señor Don Quixote de la Mancha, Mi Casa de Nipa, Specs, Vae Victis Micchuza de Nipa. Novels: Bancarrota de Almas or The Failure of the Soul, Si Dishojo la Flor or the I Tear the Pages Out of the Flower, and the Pájaros de Fuego or the Birds of Fire. The third one is Amado V. Hernandez. Amado B. Hernandez is a poet, playwright, and novelist. Is among the Filipino writers that practiced committed art. In his view of function of writer is an act as the conscience of society and to form the greatness of human spirit in the face of iniquity and oppression. Hernandez's contribution to the ornate character and wrote in prose closer to colloquial than official style permitted his novel Mga Ibong Mandaragit, first written by Hernandez while he is in prison, is the first Filipino socio-political novel that expressed the ills of the society as evident in the agrarian problems of the 50s. His alias were Amante Hernani, Hermena de la Reva, Julio Abril. Hernandez's other works includes Bayang Malaya, Isang Dipang Langit, Luha ng Buhaya, Amado V. Hernandez, Tudla at Tudling, Katipunan ng mga Natlathalang Tula in 1921 to 1970, Langaw sa Isang Basong Gatas at iba pang kwento ni Amado V. Hernandez. Magkabilang Mukha ng Isang Bagol at iba pang akda ni Amado V. Hernandez. Faustino Aguilar. He is a Filipino novelist, journalist, and a revolutionist. He was born on Malate, Manila on February 15, 1882. He was the first editor of Taliba, a newspaper in the Philippines. As a novelist, he authored the Tagalog language novels Busubos ng Palad or Panper of Fate in 1909. Sa Ngalan ng Diyos, In the Name of God in 1911, Ang Patawad ng Patay, The Pardon of the Dead in 1951, Ang Kaligtasan, The Salvation in 1951, and Pinaglabuan, Place of Disappearance in 1906, published in 1907. As a revolutionary, Faustino was a member of Katipunan. His novel portrayed themes of ruthlessness and injustice in the society. Inigo Ed Regalado. He was a Filipino poet, journalist, and novelist. He was born in Sampaloc, Manila on June 1, 1888. As an editor, Inigo Ed Regalado was one of the powerful voices in the newspapers and magazines during the first part of the 90s. It was during this time when the golden age of Tagalog novels started. He was one of the initiators of the Suriang Puwikang Pambansa. He became a language professor in different universities in Manila. He was the dean of the Department of Filipino Language of the Centro Escolar University. He was a former councilor of the city of Manila. Among his awarded works were the poems in 1964, Tilamsik, Literary Splash of Water or Spark of Fire. The 1941 compilation entitled Damdamin, Feelings or Emotion. Damdamin won the first prize during the first poetry competition during the time of the Commonwealth of the Philippines in 1941. He wrote more than 26 novels. His works belong in the golden age of Tagalog novels. Among his well-known works was Prinsesa Urduha or Princess Urduha, a play that was presented in the Cultural Center of the Philippines. His literary works, novels, the following are Regalado's novels. Madaling Araw or Dawn in 1909, Kung Magmahal ang Dalaga, How a Maiden Loves in 1911, Ang 14 na Awa, The 14 Graces in 1912, Sampagitang Walang Bango, Jasmine Without Fragrance in 1921, May Pagsintay Walang Puso, Heartless Love in 1921, Ang Huling Pagluha, The Final Shedding of Tears in 1933, Ang Anak ng Dumalaga, Child of the Poet in 1933, Naging Lunas ng Pighati, Become the Solution to Sorrow in 1933, Dalaginding, Young Maiden. Poetry, Sabi Ko Na Nga Ba, That's What I Thought, Dahil sa Pag-ibig, Because of Love. And the sixth one is Andres Bonifacio. He was born on November 30, 1863. Andres Bonifacio is considered by many to be the national hero of the Philippines. He started the Philippine Revolution, which resulted in the independence of the Philippines from the Spanish colonialism. His poems are Katapusang Bibig ng Pilipinas, Pag-ibig sa Tinubuang Bayan, Tapunan ng Lingap, Ang Mga Karsadores, Huling Paalam ni Dr. Jose Rizal, Salin ng Mi Ultimo Adios ni Gat Andres Bonifacio, and the Decalogue. The next one is Severino Reyes. He is a Filipino writer, dramatist, and playwright, highly acclaimed as one of the giants of Tagalog literature of the early 20th century. To many people, Reyes was Lola Basyang. From the popular Liwayway series he created entitled Mga Kwento ni Lola Basyang. Lola Basyang. Treated as the father of Zarzuela, ama ng dulang Tagalog, he wrote 36 zarzuelas and 22 dramas in his careers. He was nicknamed Don Binoy. His works are Ang Kalupi, Walang Sugat, R.I.P., Request Cut in Pace, Mga Bihag ni Cupido, Ang Tunay na Hukom, Kalye Pogi, Ang Halik ni Judas, Kabligrama Fatal, Puso ng Isang Pilipina, Ang Bagong Fausto, Filucia o Ang Pag-aasawa ni San Pedro, Opera Italiana, San Lazaro, Alamat ng Lamok. The eighth famous author in NCR is Emilio Jacinto. He was born in Trozo, Manila on December 15, 1875. Emilio joined the Katipunan Secret Society at 20 years of age. He was known in the Katipunan as Pinkian and was referred to as the brains of the Katipunan because of the many documents that he had prepared, which included the Constitution. Emilio wrote for the newspaper called Kalayaan under the pen name Dimas Silao. He wrote poetry, manifestos, statutes, and most of the articles and editorials of the newspaper. He speaks Spanish and Tagalog too. He prepared to speak Spanish. He was a prolific writer in Tagalog. He wrote the following: A La Patria, his poetical masterpiece. Liwanag at Dilim, a series of essays on human rights, liberty, equality of man, labor, and love of the country. Kartilya ng Katipunan contains the teachings of the KKK. Next is Jose de la Cruz. He was born on December 20, 1746 in Tondo, Manila. He was one of the great Filipino writers during the Spanish regime, popularly called his nickname as Hoseng Sisil because of his fondness for chicks, either as pets or for table consumption. De la Cruz was a skilled poet and writer who could deliver on-the-spot lyric verses and even write dramas. According to the elders, De la Cruz was very careful with his writings and he was never contented with the works that were considered good to others. Therefore, only a few of his pieces were known. Some of his works were shown in Tondo Theater owned by Domingo Celes. He was also the mentor of Francisco Balagtas, another well-known poet who would later be known as the father of Tagalog literature in the Philippines. His literary works: Songs and Ballads, Clarita, Adela and Florante, Teodoro at Clavilla, Rodrigo de Villas, Historia Famosa ni Bernardo Caprio. Comedia, La Guerra Civil de Granada, The Civil War of Granada, Hernandez at Galisandra, Rodrigo de Vivar, Reina Encantada o Casamiento de Fuerza, Enchanted Queen or Marriage of Force, Los Dos Reyes o La Copa de Oro, Príncipe Baldovino, Conde Rodrigo de Valas, El Amor y la Envidia, Love and Envy, Don Gonzalo de Cordoba, Jason at Medea at Wala. The 10th or the last author in the NCR is Cecilio Apostol. He was born in Santa Cruz, Manila on November 22, 1877. He was recognized not only in the Philippines but also throughout the Hispanic world as the greatest Filipino epic poet writing in Spanish. According to Claro M. Recto, Apostol was the greatest writer of both prose and poetry. His works are Al Hero Nacional, Kay Rizal Tula ni Tudayangki. NCR Literature: Awiting Bayan, Bahay Kubo at Leron Sinta. Maikling kwento, Banyaga by Liwayway A. Arceo. Tula, Pag-ibig sa Tinubuang Lupa by Andres Bonifacio. Sa Anak ng Bayan by Emilio Jacinto. Isang Dipang Langit by Amado V. Hernandez. At Ang Mga Kwentong Bayan, Ang Unang Lalaki at Ang Unang Babae. Sanaysay, Ang Ningning at Liwanag. Folk dance is Balse.
Folk songs in NCR or Awiting Bayan. Bahay Kubo. Bahay Kubo, the most popular song in NCR and even all over the Philippines. Here's the song. Bahay Kubo, kahit munti, ang halaman doon ay sari-sari, singkamas at talong, sigarilyas at mani, sitaw, bataw, patani, kondol, patola, upot, kalabasa, at saka meron pang labanos, mustasa, sibuyas, kamatis, bawang at luya. Sa paligid-ligid ay puro linga. Leron Sinta, My Dear Little Leron, is a popular Filipino folk song from the Tagalog region, especially from the National Capital Region or NCR. Though the origin is unclear due to the lack of scholarly literature that examines Philippines folk music, it is traditionally a work song representing who work in the fields harvesting fruits, traditionally sung during the papaya harvest season. It has a call and response verse pattern and is typically sung in duet by a man and a woman, with some minor alteration in the lyrics. During the papaya harvest season, men and women bring elders 500 feet tall and big baskets and during the footpath to the papaya orchard. The ladders are set against the tree and very carefully the men climb up the ladder and harvest the almost ripened fruit, still firm and with patches of orange here and there. Here's the song of Leron Sinta. Umising ka, neneng, tayo'y manampalok. Dalhin mo ang buslot, sisidlan ng binog. Pagdating sa duloy, lalamba-lambuyog. Kumapit ka, neneng, baka kay mahulog. Ako'y ibigin mo, lalaking matapang. Ang baril ko'y 7, ang sundang ko'y 9. Ang lalakarin ko'y parte ng dinulang. Isang pinggang pansit, ang aking kalaban. Short story in NCR or maikling kwento. Banyaga by Liwayway Arceo. Konting kaalaman sa maikling kwentong Banyaga. Ito ay nakakuha ng first premyo sa taong 1962 sa Carlos Palanca Memorial Awards. Tinanghal din itong isa sa pinakamagandang nagawa na maikling kwento sa taong 1962. Binansagan din itong teoryang feminismo ukol na rin sa kwento ng may akda. Ang akdang ito ay isang panitikan sa panahon ng mga Hapones at Amerikano. Ang mga tauhan sa kwentong ito ay sina Feli, ang unang hukom at pinag-uusapan sa kwento. Eduardo, isang guro sa Plaridel High School at matalik na kaibigan ni Feli. Nana Ibang, nagpalaki at nagtaguyod kay Feli. Tagpuan, bahay at eskwelahan, Plaridel High School. Poems, mga tula sa NCR. Sa Anak ng Bayan by Emilio Jacinto. Sa iyo, o anak ng bayan, anak ng dalita ng nagbabatang, pumapasan ng madlang kabigatan sa balat ng lupa. Sa iyo ko inahandog itong munting kaya ng kapuskong isip. Iyo ngang marapatin sapagkat inaalay ng isang pusong nabubuhay at nabubuhol sa iyo sa pamamagitan ng lalong tapat na pakikipagkapwa. Inakala ko na kahit bahagya ay iyong pakikinabangan at ako may di bihasa sa magandang pagtalatag ng mga piling pangungusap ay aking pinangahasang isulat. Mapalad ako kung makahid ng tulong sa lalong ikagiginhawa ng aking mga kababayan na siya kong laging matinding nais. At bakit di ko sasabihin? Ang alaala ko'y baka wikain na ang namuhunan ng buhay at dalita ay malabuan at maalimpungatan sa nagdaang mahabang pagkakahimbing at ang laman ng bungang matitira sa iyo ay wala kundi mapait na balat. Other poems in NCR is Pag-ibig sa Tinubuang Lupa by Andres Bonifacio. Other poem is Isang Dipang Langit by Amado V. Hernandez. Folktale o Kwentong Bayan and NCR. Ang unang lalaki at ang unang babae. Sanaysay. Kabilang dito ang ningning at ang liwanag mula sa liwanag at dilim ni Emilio Jacinto. Balse or dance in NCR. Dance literature. Balse dance was a popular dance in Marikina, Rizal during the Spanish times. This dance was performed during Lutrina and the music that accompanied the dancer was played by the musikong bumbong. Traditionally, the Lutrina is usually held when people of a certain community suffer from a long dry season or pestilence of any kind. The participants carry lighted candles and they pray along the way with a statue of their patron saint. After the procession, the participants gather at the house of yard of Hermana and the bags of the food are distributed to them. During refreshments or after it, there is dancing and singing by the people gathered there.
Heritage. Rizal Park. One of your first stops in Manila should be Rizal Park, sometimes referred to as Lunita Park. This is a peaceful and manicured outdoor garden located in the heart of the city. Throughout the park, you will see statues and monuments paying tribute to Manila's history. Quiapo Church. The Quiapo Church is one of the oldest and most admired Catholic churches in Manila. The more formal name of the church is the Minor Basilica of the Black Nazarene. Depending on the time of day, the plaza surrounding the century-old church can be quite congested, which makes it an interesting place to visit to admire the devotion of the Filipino people. Intramuros. Walls of the Intramuros, Manila. You will likely pass through the Intramuros whether you know it or not as you explore Manila. It is the oldest section of the city and characterized by its walled fortress. This section of Manila was once walled during Spanish colonial times in the 150s to 180s. Manila Ocean Park. The Manila Ocean Park is one of the most unique adventures in the city and one of the top things to do for families visiting the city. Get interactive with marine life with the sharks and race encounter, trails to Antarctica or the fish spa where fish clean your feet in a small pool of water. The park easily fills several hours depending on how many encounters you try. In addition to the state-of-the-art aquatic facility, you will see exhibits of birds and other animals. San Agustin Church and Museum. As a designated UNESCO World Heritage Site, the San Agustin Church is a national treasure in the Philippines. The Catholic Church has a unique history that is reflected in the details of the building. If you look closely, you will see both Chinese and Spanish influences in the design. The church has been rebuilt several times after battles and natural disasters. National Museum of the Philippines. For a true exploration in the culture of the country, the National Museum of the Philippines is one of the best places to visit. The museum has four main complexes and extensive collections and artifacts relating to art, archaeology, anthropology, zoology, biology, and natural history. The museum galleries help offer a sense of place, telling the cultural story beyond what you will find on your own visiting the city's many historical attractions. Bambay Ecotours. Manila is a pedestrian-friendly city, but if you want to explore the culture and history more efficiently, consider the Bambay Ecotours. The towers provide a unique, eco-friendly way to see urban Manila. By taking an ecotour, you are also supporting environmental sustainability efforts of local businesses. Port Santiago. The port is one of the most important historical sites in Manila. Several people died in its prisons during the Spanish Empire and World War II. Jose Rizal is one of the Philippine national heroes, was imprisoned here before his execution in 1896. The Rizal Shrine Museum displays memorabilia of the hero in their collection, and the port features embedded onto the ground in bronze. His footsteps representing his final walk from his cell to the location of the actual execution. Money Museum. Tucked away inside the Philippine Central Banking Authority, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, is a fascinating money museum. The galleries showcase Philippine money over several decades. There are artifacts, oil coins, and various currencies on display that illustrate the changes in money over time. For the Philippine people, this collection represents economic stability in the country, but for visitors, it's a fun tourist attraction. Divisoria Market. If you are in the mood to bargain shop, head to the lively Divisoria Market in Manila. It is located in the heart of Chinatown, where you will discover overflowing vendor stalls selling everything from fruit and spices to flip-flop and beads. Festivals. Aliuan Fiesta. Aliuan Fiesta is an annual event that gathers different cultural festivals of the Philippines in Star City Complex in Pasay, wherein contingents compete in dance, parade, and float competitions. Feast of Black Nazarene. The Feast of the Black Nazarene Filipino, Pista ng Itim na Nazareno, also known as the Translation. After the Mass, procession associated with the feast is a religious festival held in Manila, Philippines, that is centered around the Black Nazarene, an image of Jesus Christ. It is celebrated annually on January 9. UP Lantern Parade. History of Lantern Parade. The very first Lantern Parade was showcased on the streets of Padre Paura in 1922, back when the university was still in the city of Manila. It was institutionalized in 1934 by UP President George C. Bacubo as a recreational end of the year activity. Gigantes Festival. The Gigantes Festival is a local festival held annually in Angono, Rizal, Philippines, where hundreds of giant papier match puppets are paraded, representing the common people's mockery of the bad hacienda landowners of the past during Spanish colonial rule. It has evolved into also celebrating the feast of Pope St. Clement I every 22 and 23 November. Metro Manila Film Festival. The Metro Manila Film Festival is an annual film festival held in Metro Manila, Philippines. The festival, which runs from December 25, Christmas, through New Year's Day, and into first weekend of January in the following year, focuses on Filipino films. During the course of the festival, movie theaters show only films that are approved by its jurors and exclude foreign films except in 3D theaters and IMAX theaters. Since 2010s, film entries were played in select 3D cinemas that it can show movies in 2D format. It is one of the two Filipino major film festivals to exclude movies out of the country in a week-long period. The other being the Pista ng Pelikulang Pilipino happening during August.